Good Thursday morning to you. Daybreak here on iFiber 1 KMAS. Good morning, Spencer.
Hey, good morning.
We are moving into the weekend. There will start to be some Christmastown USA activities. Rachel Hansen on the air with us this morning in the first half of the hour. Also talk about National Roof Over Your Head Day. In the second half of the hour, Shelton Police Chief Darren Moody stops in for what could be one of his last visits here on the old morning show as police chief. And we'll go over some of the advice yesterday from the Post and Conversation about that Venmo lady. Oh my gosh, people in our community and across the state really were chiming in on this one.
Yeah, hundreds of comments. It was great.
Pretty amazing there. As we move ahead to the weekend, what's going on with the weather forecast?
It's going to be cloudy today, but rain-free, and we should have sunny skies from tomorrow through the beginning of next week. They took out the showers for Saturday, so it looks like partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies between tomorrow and Monday.
Mason County Public Health notified of 9 additional Mason County residents testing positive for COVID-19, bringing the total to 838 cases. Total active currently are 84. There are 2 now hospitalized in Mason County, down 1 from yesterday, and 2 hospitalized outside of Mason County. We've had 149 cases in the last 14 days, and our rate per 100,000 now, 229.
Despite the winter chill, Washingtonians have plenty of reason to head outdoors during the holidays. Seasonal fisheries are underway throughout the state. Waterfowl hunting is in full swing, and birders are gearing up for some prime viewing opportunities right in their backyards. As seasons change, so do the practices to stay safe outside and protect the places where we play. And there are some tips here, ways to get out this December. Goose and duck hunting success rates are increasing as more northern birds move into the state. Trout fishing, fall stocking means the fish are biting at winter-only and year-round lakes this month of December. Steelhead fishing, winter steelhead returns will start building in lower Columbia River tributaries during the month of December and continue into the next year. Puget Sound crabbing, several marine areas are open through December 31st for sport crabbing. Winter is a great time to jig for squid in Puget Sound, and squid fishing is a fun, family-friendly activity that is easy to learn and doesn't require a boat. Remember to keep 6 feet for physical distance between you and others, including the squid. Oh, no, just humans. Okay. Wildlife viewing Audubon Society chapters around the state are preparing for the annual Christmas bird count, which takes flight this month. For more information, visit the Audubon's website. I had a customer over at the car lot that was so grateful. He brought me some gooey duck. And, yeah. And a coworker is cooking it up just because I didn't want to bring it in and have to gut it. The shells were still on them and stuff. And Sarah and the kids are sensitive to smells, and they're not as big into that stuff as I am. So I didn't want to bring it into the house and gut it right there in the kitchen.
It's such a delicacy. You don't want to ruin it your first time trying to prepare it properly.
Yeah, I watched several videos, and it's a little bit involved, but it's one of the most interesting creatures I've ever seen, this gooey duck.
Any of those other ones look interesting to you? The squid fishing to me sounds intriguing, mostly because it looks like
it really is.
That and wildlife viewing are the ones that are outside of the water. There's no chance of falling in. I think that's...
Yeah, I like that idea. And I was talking to the customer. He is a diver for one of the shellfish companies, which will remain nameless. And I was just fascinated. I mean, how they go out there and just their headlamps, and then they dive into the water and they're finding all this stuff. And it just sounds fascinating, just all the stuff that's down there in the water.
Wow. A labor agency in the state announced it will increase workers' compensation rates for Amazon fulfillment centers, deeming them more hazardous than other types of warehouses. Seattle Times reports the State Department of L&I, Labor and Industries there, boosted the company's premium rates by 15% starting on the first of the year. Previously, Amazon fulfillment centers were grouped with other kinds of warehouses when calculating premium risks, which are in part based on the number of injuries. Some grocery distributors and recycling facilities argued that higher injury rates at Amazon centers driving up premiums for the entire industry. Have you noticed that Amazon is a little faster on its deliveries lately?
I have. I actually ordered some business cards, and they came 4 or 5 days before the date that they gave. So I think they're still buffering themselves in case there's delays, but I was pleasantly surprised that it came early.
Stephanie is ordering some things now, and we got something in last night, actually. By about 8:30, it showed up, and there are more and more of the Amazon trucks out there as opposed to the UPS and the FedEx and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they are really trying to do their own freight, and our times were definitely not the 2-day prime times. It was, a week at times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I understand there's been some issues over the last couple of months because of the virus, but it has rapidly changed over the last week.
Yeah, it is good to see that things are coming so quick. I have some razors that are coming, and they should be here probably, maybe even today, even though they were only supposed to be here by the 7th, I think. So that'll be nice.
That's great.
The crew of the Polar Star, the U.S. Coast Guard's only heavy-duty icebreaker, is preparing for a rare mission north to the Arctic after the coronavirus pandemic scuttled their usual journey. The Seattle-based Polar Star usually heads south to Antarctica to resupply a research station, but COVID-19 changed their plans. Captain Bill Wojtra says the U.S. Antarctic program scaled back operations. They postponed most of the science that was going on and limited the number of people traveling to the continent. The crew is in quarantine and is being tested to ensure no one brings the virus on board prior to their departure tomorrow. They return in late February.
Wow. I was reading a story on CNN about a group of researchers that have been out some 1,800 miles outside of Hawaii working since February on an atoll, and they had no TV, no phones, no nothing, very limited internet as well. So they'd get brief emails, and it would reference coronavirus.
Yeah.
But they had no idea, and they thought, well, swine flu, SARS, we'll get back to Hawaii at the end of our time here, and it'll all be done. Well, they got back, and it's obviously not done. And just imagine that. These are like those stories of, like World War II airplane pilots who go down, and then they think the war's still on, or folks who have been removed from a situation, and they come back to find it completely different. Imagine
I imagine it every day. It sounds like satellite radio here in parts of Mason County. It's still happening today if you don't have iFiber.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We had Gonzaga Basketball on the air yesterday. Sounded good as the number 1 team in all the land beat the number 11 West Virginia team 87-82 in the Jimmy V Classic. And this weekend is going to have a great game for you. Number 1 versus number 2. It's Gonzaga versus Baylor in Indianapolis on Saturday. These teams are very, very good. And it's going to be a fun one to listen to here on the radio. Sunday, we have the Seahawks, and they're presented by Shelton Health and Rehab, Riviera Shellfish, South Sound Appliance, Dogtown Grooming, Neil's Pharmacy, and the Shelton Athletic Club. Again, coming up this half hour of the show, Rachel Hansen talking Christmas Town, USA, and National Roof Over Your Head Day. In the second half of the hour, Shelton Police Chief Darren Moody in for the Focus on Shelton, and then we'll go over some of the advice given to Venmo Lady after yesterday's conversation and post on our Facebook page. Good morning to you.
From the iFiber One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
As the Daybreak Show rolls on here this Thursday, the 3rd of December, Spencer, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you.
National Roof Over Your Head Day. This was created as a day to be thankful for what you have, starting with the roof over your head. Now, I know that times are very tough for many folks, and it's not just because of the pandemic, but some of the circumstances in Mason County are such that many folks don't have a roof over their head. For those who do, and I am guilty as charged, take for granted what we have, and oftentimes not stopping to appreciate how fortunate we are for having things like a roof.
Absolutely. And I believe in that attitude of gratitude. And it took me a long time in my life to figure it out that when you don't get the things you want into your life, oftentimes when you reflect, it's because you're not grateful for what you have now. And I don't believe the universe is going to reward you with more things that you want if you're taking for granted what you already have, if that makes sense. So it's like making room for more things to come in by being grateful for what you already have.
We are trying to impress upon Kaiser how fortunate he is compared to even other kids perhaps in his class or school, to have the ability to be able to get on a Zoom call and take class online in a home that has heat and a roof when there is so much struggle across the South Sound, our whole list, the state, the country. Stephanie and I had talked about trying to figure out if, and I don't think it's available because of the virus, but trying to, maybe go down and go to the food banks, dish out meals if possible. I honestly have not looked into it, but we had thought about that as maybe a way to ground us, I guess, or refocus. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, absolutely. In places like, the Shelton Family Center and the Toys for Tots,
Sure.
That's another good
Yeah.
one. Toys for Tots could really use donations, especially for the older kids and tweens and teenagers. And a lot of people, that's another thing we take for granted is all the gifts people get at Christmas. There's some people that don't get gifts. There's some kids that look under the tree and there's nothing there.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. A way to observe Roof Over Your Head Day for those who have the ability. Pick a name or two off a Christmas giving tree and make someone's holiday a little better. You can volunteer or make contributions to various shelters or organizations. Your gift may help someone else and help them get a roof over their head, so you can try to pass that on. So just try to take stock in what you have, and it's tough to do, but if you take a breath and look around, I think even in the most dire of circumstances, there is some positive there, and there is an option to kind of look to be grateful for what we have.
No, absolutely. Good advice.
More Daybreak coming up.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFiber One News Radio.
Good morning again. Thursday here. Morning, Spencer.
Good morning.
I was a little surprised yesterday. We started talking about this Venmo lady story yesterday on the show and kind of going through it. We'll recap in a minute. But then we posted it online, and my gosh, lots of folks across our area and across the state, really, as we shared it with our partners on the east side at iFiber One News there. And we've had over 100 comments. There's over 100 comments on the east side page.
Yeah, this one really tapped a nerve, as they say.
Pretty crazy.
And I had a feeling it would. It's one of those great ethical dilemmas that a lot of people listening can relate to.
So the story was that a parent sent her kid off to go play with the neighbors or whatever. They go to the mall. The parent who's got the kids in custody there gives the kid $20, gives all the kids $20 or so. And then at the end of the day, they call and they say, thank you so much. And then on Monday, the parent of the kid who went with the other family gets a Venmo request for $50, which is 30 above what she was talking about. And so the question was, what do you do? And lots of people responded to this. Eric says, I take my kids' friends out all the time. I would never send a bill to the parents and ask them to pay for my decisions. It's tacky to invite someone out and then ask them to pay.
Exactly my sentiments.
No.
Perfectly said there. Sue says, I would talk to her and ask her why she feels that you owe her anything when she didn't talk to you first. If anything, you could offer to repay the $20, and that would be my max. Sadly, she's putting a price on her son's friendship with your son. That's a very good point.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was yesterday. Maybe the $20 because it's extra. It's like fun money to go buy gifts. It's not food. It's not an entry fee. That's kind of where I was at with that, too. Daryl says, saying, I have no idea what to do is lame. This friend has sent you a message, her message to decipher. She thinks you are cheap, he says. She thinks you should have given your children spending money as to not be a burden on her wallet. Pay, then learn the lesson, and move on. What do you think
that's
of that
the thing.
one?
Is the number one rule for us is we never, ever, ever have sent the kids out without money. Either they have their own money in their wallet, or we give them something. We go, hey, offer to pay. We always say that. And when we talk to the parents beforehand, and the younger the kids are, the more communication there is. Once they're teenagers and stuff, you kind of let them go on autopilot and let them make their own mistakes. You know what I mean? Let them learn from it. But first thing I would say is, they're going ice skating.
Yeah.
How much would you like me to send them with? I have no idea how much the ice skating fees are and the rentals. And they go, oh, no. It's kind of like a birthday party. We're taking care of that. Maybe just send them with a few bucks, if they want to buy something incidental. But we would never send them without money.
No. Pretty amazing, the responses. And if you've got an answer on this as well, you can go to our Facebook page and post your comment, look through and read some of the other comments. And pretty fascinating here. I like that one. I've found a few more of these situational advice stories, so I think we'll roll those out.
That's great. People love these. I love them myself.
Here. Yeah, it's fun. All right, more Daybreak coming up.